Morning, y'all. It's Tuesday, January 14th. It's pretty early in the morning here. I want to jump on and film this real quick before the day got started too much. I got a lot of stuff to squeeze in, so I'll try to hurry real quick and get it all done. I hope y'all are having a great week so far. This is a floss tube about cross stitch. I don't think I have anything else featured today but cross stitch. And finishes, I've got finishes, haul, whips, and some plans for 2020. And I hope you guys are getting some plans going, because I'm already thinking about what I want to stitch in the next year, what series I want to finish up in the next year, what I didn't get finished this year. I do have a couple of carryovers. What do I have? 1, 2, 3, about 5, which is a first for me, because usually I'm really a monogamous stitcher. So I've tried to branch out this year and have a few other things at a time stitching. And I think I like it. I'm not really sure though. I really do like just plowing through. I also like FFOing though. I like to fully finish something. I don't like having stacks of unfinished stitches. I did have a big stack, and it really eats at me. I just feel like it's really not finished. It's a commitment or something. I don't know. I just feel bad if I don't finish it. I feel like I'm kind of just half-weighted, or I could say something else, but I'm trying not to use that word, because early in the morning you don't want to curse. But okay. But I do have some questions I need to answer and some suggestions y'all made. Talking about the making circles. In the last video, I showed the doorknob guard where it keeps you from knocking a hole in the wall, as far as making a top, because I had such a hard time cutting a good circle to make as a base for a drum or for a round ornament. Lynette suggested cardboard cake rounds. Lynette over at Homestead and on the Home Front, who I'm just crazy about. If y'all haven't checked her out, I'm sure everybody in the world's checked her out, but go watch her and little one lately are so cute, and I really miss having a daughter at home that you could do something with. That's always nice. And now that my girl's grown, I do have the littles here, the grandbabies, and they are wanting to try stitching, and they do stitch a little bit, and it gets all the knots, and it's fun. But little one is turning out some nice stitches on Lynette's videos, and they're looking really good, and they both have beautiful pieces. But she suggested buying just some cardboard cake rounds, which I haven't looked to see what sizes they come in, but that would be something to check into. I did find these scissors, and they're Fiskars, and they say thick and heavy mixed media. And they're like, really like a shear. They're like really thick. And I saw these at the Tuesday morning. They were like $12, and I thought, what can it hurt? And so I left them in the package so I could show y'all so you could get them, because I was able to cut a fairly decent round, much better than I've been able to cut with my scissors or with an X-Acto or a box cutter, anything else. So these worked great for me as far as being able to cut around. That worked great. Christine had asked what my prairie schooler barnyard is stitched on. It's 28 count Monaco. I have bought it, what this one is stitched on. I have bought it at 1, 2, 3 Stitch and Down Sunshine Lane. I love Down Sunshine Lane. She ships so fast and gets stuff to you really quickly. Both, I believe it's the same piece of fabric I've got from both, and so they're both good pieces, but that's what I've stitched them on both. I like Monaco. It's thicker, sturdier. I stitch in hand. I can't use a hoop. I feel like we're in a fight every time I use it. So I do like Monaco. I will dye it myself with Rit, tea, Kool-Aid, a million things. But I do like the heft and the weight of it and holding it in my hand. I do like that a lot. So that works really well for me. And so you might try it if you haven't. I really enjoy it. Jessa asked if I would do a cast and a spell tutorial. I do intend to do a cast and a spell tutorial because I did really struggle. I'm gonna tilt this, y'all. I can't figure out how to get this right. I struggled with the parts that go around the Jello boxes. I struggled so much getting that done. And so I will do a tutorial because I intend to make some other designs to go in my box because I love my box and I hate that I only get to use it during the fall time of the year. That makes me sad. So I'm gonna stitch some more pieces and I will do a tutorial on how to finish it. If you have any specific questions or if you're trying to finish yours out and you're struggling, message me. We can FaceTime or whatever. I will be glad to help anybody because Vanna's tutorials, Priscilla's and Chelsea's tutorials, they've helped me so much and I would love to help. So if you're really struggling with something, message me and we can message back and forth. We can FaceTime and I will try to help you any way I can. I'm not a pro in any way, shape, or form, but I have finished it. It did work somewhat. It looks great, but just don't look at the bottom and the sides, you know. Ooh, they are rough. I like the back of my stuff to look nice, and the back and bottom of my casting a spell does not look that nice, and it bothers me. But I would be glad to help anybody. I will. So I will do a tutorial on it, but if you're struggling right now to get it finished, holler, and I will try to help you any way I can. I do think Susie had asked about the description for the SAL at the Stitch Niche. May Health and Peace attend your days. I think my daughter got the link down there. That is one of my big plans for next year, and I'll talk about it in a few minutes and give the phone number for it if anybody's interested in that. Also, when I post replies to y'all on YouTube, I live outside of town. I live in a neighborhood, but I do live outside of town. And our internet connection is janky, and it will double my replies sometime. I don't know why, but I'm not answering you twice. It makes me look crazier than I am in real life, which is horrifying, really. But it will post my reply twice. I'm sorry. And I hate on YouTube that it won't, or else I haven't figured out how it will let me reply to y'all more than once. So it's hard to like get a conversation going back because sometimes it won't let me answer you but one time. I don't know why. I don't know how these things are set up, but so if I can't answer you more than once, I am sorry. And I got to get a hashtag going for that SAL, but that is one of my plans for next year. I have 2 SALs I'm going to do and want to get them going. But let's jump right into whips. I have a couple, one mainly that I'm working on right now because I want to get it finished. Let me take these clips off here because I had it all rolled up to work on it. And it is the Snowy Chalk Full. And I have finished, and I'm going to do this out of order because I finished the small. So it'll get talked about again in a second. But here is the small finish that I did for Snowy Chalk Full. And I loved the pillow, but I wanted to prop it up and make like a little flat finish. But I loved Kathy's little finishes that allow you to put a couple different textures and a couple of different fabrics. I love that. So this was my way to be able to feature that in and still do it as a prop up. Because let's be honest, any little pillow tucks right now or any little small pillows, bowl fillers, if the girls get their hands on them, they are pillows for their babies. And so I'm trying not to have so many pillows for the babies that I have to try to look up at the end of the day. So this was my finish for the small for Snowy Chalk Full. Super pleased with it. There's still a little glue right there. I finished these out yesterday evening and last night. So there's the small. And then this is my whip for it. So here we have Snowy Chalk Full, and it's Kathy and Priscilla. This is my first stitch of these. I've been wanting to do them forever, to do them all, and I just said, I'm doing this and I love it. It is so cute. I should have taken the plastic off. And so this is where I'm at on the big piece. Y'all look at that Caribbean Waters. That is that aqua. It's a classic Colorworks right there. I am in love with that Caribbean Waters. It is fabulous, and it's just streaking up real nice. It's not showing up so good on here, but it is showing great variegation. I'm stitching top to bottom, so I'm just doing sewing method down to down to down to down. Well, I don't guess it's sewing because you finish each stitch, but I just go row, 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 as opposed to going side to side, because I wanted my variegation going up and down on this part. So that's where I am at on, that is my whip of Snowy Chock Full. So there's that one. Then I have, this is all I carried over from last year, and I do have a few. This little guy is Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. I should have taken these out the bag. Sorry, y'all. Oh, it's this guy. And I do make a working copy, especially when it's in a book, because I don't want to fight the whole book. So you may have got a little glance at that guy, but this is supposed to be 28 count. But it is so, one thing, it's floppy because it's a Lugana. And but it was a beautiful piece, and I bought it because it was so pretty. But it is just super floppy. It says it's 28 count, but I swear it feels like it's 32. And those two threads, getting those two threads through there is a fight. I'm going to pull this out, and I'm going to go back with one thread. It's too much to fight this. So that's why this guy got stuck to the side and carried over and did not get finished, because he's a problem. And I don't like dealing with problems. I'm going to fix the problem and go on. I ain't going to keep fighting it. This is my hairy linen stocking out of Home for the Holidays. It's nearly done. I just have to do the alphabet across the top. It's Blackbird Designs, poinsettia stocking out of Home for the Holidays. And it's on that hairy linen that I hate, but at least it has some heft to it and weight to it, which I like about that. It's just super fuzzy. Makes it real hard to see. We've talked before about my vision being crappy, and even after vision correction surgery and wearing contacts and glasses and cheaters, I'm having a hard time with the fuzzy part of the linen. So that guy got carried over just because he was hard to work on. I'll finish him up real quick and be done with him. But I didn't have any place that I really wanted to display him, so I didn't worry about it. So he's out of this book here. Where is he? Right here. He's this one, out of Home for the Holidays. I talked about this book in one of my other videos. It is fabulous, so worth the money. It has 10 or 11 designs in it. It's marvelous. And then this is the one here, 'Tis the Season, that, Lord, I thought I took all the pins out of these. Sorry, y'all. Good grief. And he is coming along, but I knew I wasn't going to get him finished before Christmas, so he just got kind of set aside. But I just have the leaves and then the words on the bottom. I do think that I will change the words. I don't think I will even use 'Tis the Season or the other. I think I'm just going to put a saying about winter on it, because I would like to leave it up all through winter. It's so pretty, and I love cardinals. And I don't know if y'all do that around here. You know, when a cardinal comes, it's somebody that's passed coming to visit you. And so I love my cardinals when they come. I always think it's my friends and my grandparents that are passed. And so I want to leave it up through winter. So I will probably do a little saying about winter or something across the bottom instead of the saying 'Tis the Season on there. This little guy, he's just a little gingerbread boy, and he was going to be a little Nita book, and he just got flung to the side just because, you know, whatever. He was no particular, I think I used him for one of my challenges on magical stitches, and so he just got pushed aside there because there was no rush to finish him. This one, because it's Halloween, it got after Halloween. I think I have the picture in here. Oh, shoot. Don't have the picture, so I can just show you this part. This is the Sleepy Hollow from Frosted Pumpkin. It's so cute. I thought I had the cover picture in here, but I don't, which is aggravating. But I'll finish him out. He won't be hard. It's on a piece of Ada that I dyed back whenever, and it's easy to see and easy to carry if you're in the car or whatever. So I'll finish him out. That's all I'm carrying over from last year. Those are all my whips and all my carryovers. The only thing I've been working on steadily were my Snowy Chockfull and my Aussie friends. And that, I'll talk about my Aussie friends in finishes. Haul is around here somewhere. Here it is. Stretch, sorry y'all. Haul, I have picked up a few things to get ready for some spring stitching. I picked up Spring ABCs by Little House. It's really cute, and I think I'll stitch all these and just switch them out because that's just adorable. Jeannie Bean's Halloween sampler. And everybody knows I'm a Halloween queen, and I love Halloween, so I will definitely stitch that. This is Easter Peep Parade by Brenda Gervais, and it is just so cute. I think I'm going to stitch it on a light blue tea-dyed Monaco and change this little egg to purple. I just didn't want it to be quite that dark. I can't, not that it's beautiful to look at, but I have a hard time seeing on something that dark. And so it's easier for me to switch it out and switch the egg color and make it easier on myself to see. It's just much less painful. And then these little festive little fobs. So cute. By Heartstring Samplery. I thought I would do them, just some smalls on my farmhouse tree to mix in with my bigger, the Little House Needleworks Farmhouse Christmas. And like I said, I talked about making I thought I'd put my Prairie Schooler Barnyard Christmas as ornaments, but I think I'll make them into drums. I've been working on getting that working, and I think it's gonna work out. I've been playing with it and planning with it. I do think I'll have more luck, or I do think it'll finish out more like I like it, because I want them to sit real flat and steady using Vanna's tutorial and Vanna's way of doing it, so they're flat on the bottom and just a little bit of puff on top. I don't want them to be rocky, and I'll show you my Frosties. It's just super puffy and it's really cute, but I didn't want it to be that round and puffy on there. So I think I will do Vanna's, and I think it will be steadier and sturdier. I did put some walnut shells in it, so it has some weight, but it's real rocky. It's just, oh, we're about to look at it and we'll talk about it then. Plans, I need to finish all of my Barnyard Christmas. I'll probably stitch every one of these. Some of them I may make some into ornaments that I don't want to look at all the time, possibly, but I may want to look at them all the time and just make them into graduated drums, some taller, some shorter. I just love this series. Well, I love Prairie Schooler anyway. So I want to finish all those out. I want to, there's my threads in a big nasty knot. Oh, I am the world's worst about having some messy threads there. But those are really nice. No, that's not for those. I'm a liar. Lying so early in the morning. Sulkies are what I'm using for my barnyards. Sorry. My things got laid on top of each other here. These go with My Little House Needleworks Farmhouse Christmas. And this is the one I'm gonna do next. And these are the threads for it. And I have done, what, four ornaments already? And so one of each of these will be plenty to finish out the whole series. So this is another one that is a good, you don't have to buy 10,000 million threads or anything else. And I've loved stitching it. I love the way it looks. It's just wonderful. And here again, I pre-cut all my squares, so I'm ready to start that one. And all my squares I cut before I started the series because I knew I wanted to do them all. My next square is ready to go. My thread's ready to go. I just have to make my working copy, put it here on the clipboard, and we're ready to rock and roll. I love working like that so that I don't have to take so long to get things ready. I want something ready. When I'm ready to go, I want to roll. So without further ado, let's move into finishes. Oh, I also, plans, I will also be doing the May Health and Peace Attend Your Day Sal. It's with my LNS. The phone number for them is 817-277-4281. Anybody wants to call them. They do ship. I'm sure other needlework shops carry it. I haven't looked to see. It is beautiful. I won't get to pick up my copy till this Saturday. This Saturday, I'll pick up my copy and I'll try to do a little snippet video shot so you guys can see who all's in there and see us all get together and get them. After that, I can show you the cover sheet, but I don't pick mine up until this Saturday. I'll run up to Arlington and pick it up, and then I can show y'all the front cover of it. But it is May Health and Peace Attend Your Days by My Lady's Needle. So you can probably look it up, but it is very, very pretty. It has a DMC or a silk conversion. I'm gonna stitch the DMC. I am gonna try to work on using, I have a few silks, and I'm gonna try to, I've stitched a few stitches with silks once and it felt very nice, but I'm gonna try to bust those out and use those. That's in my plans this year. I have a little chronic thing box that I got on clearance, and I'm gonna try to get it out and use it and just have at. So that is also in my plans this year. Finishes. We are on to finishes. First big finish, this was Frosty's Night Out. It was not as hard as I thought. Of course, the stitch, Blackbird Designs, always fabulous. I loved it, loved stitching it. The, I can't open it either way without showing. No, I thought I could open it so y'all could see way some of the directions are, but I can't. But the directions on it are super clear. It also gives an alternative to, or a thing to sit the thing down in, which I may try to do the little hat here to sit him down in. But he came out super cute. I added a few stitches over here. I just felt like his head was kind of concave on one side. I don't know why it bothered me, but I added a few stitches here. I did do, instead of X's, I did some French knots. And if y'all follow me on Instagram, y'all probably saw that my grandpa taught me how to do my French knots. I asked my grandma years and years ago when I was, I don't know, probably 10, 11, 12, and I was learning to embroider, and she was helping me, and I asked her about the French knots. And she said, well, you'll have to get your grandpa to teach you how to do that because he always does all mine. Mine are ugly. And, you know, and he was a sailor. He was in the Seabees, I believe in World War II in Korea. And she said, you know, sailors are really good at two things, cursing and tying knots. And your grandpa does all my French knots because mine are ugly. And so he taught me how to do French knots. So every time I try to always add French knots when I can because it always makes me think of Papa. And he was giant and quiet, and his hands were ginormous. And but he could tie a French knot, nobody's business. Just perfect every time. and just beautiful. So I love when I get to add them in there and think about them and how precious they always were to us. And so I love adding those in. So I did get to add 3 of those in there. Other than that, I don't think I changed anything. I did all the DMC colors. This one I think is 4066 DMC. One of those variegated ones they have. I just wanted this coat to be a little spotchety. But other than that, it's stitched up great. I followed their directions to a T, but you can see it's like super puffy. It's like really round, top and bottom. And of course it's got little puckery places and all this. I did come back and add the rickrack on, and I'll tell you right now, I glued it on with Aleene's Sticky Glue shamelessly because I tried sewing through that rickrack. That ain't happening. I didn't go get out my thimble, but I mean, I was caving the thing in. But then I've seen since then, when some of y'all sew it on, y'all go around the rickrack. And I guess that's the way you would have to do, because I could not punch through the rickrack to push it in. But the reason I did, and I didn't think about it when I picked out my fabric, I wanted it to be a little darker. Don't. I should have picked something that was really close to this, because then I tried first with gray thread and it showed up horribly on the black, and I tried black thread and it showed up horribly on the gray. Even if I just took a little bitty grab of it, it was awful. And so you could just kind of see, and probably nobody else would ever notice, but it bothered me. So I just went back and just stuck that on there, and it covered it up and made me where I could live with it. And you can see it's not round. So if you did, that's why I'm thinking I will do Vanna's, because this one, you take that round that I showed y'all, this guy here, this is what you used, but then you take it out. With Vanna's, you leave this in. You leave this in there. So you're gonna be able to maintain that round much better than this, because, you know, if I pulled it or turned it or overstuffed a certain way, it distorted it, and that's what's happened. And so even though it's got weight, because I put some walnut shells in it part of the way, just like Vanna says to, I don't think that said to, that was the only change I made. As far as the sewing goes, I followed the instructions on the leaflet to a T, and it worked. This is exactly how it worked out. So if anybody else has finished theirs out, holler at me and let me know. I've been trying to watch and see if anybody else has made their little drum like this. I would love to see it and see what I could do different, or what you did that I didn't do, to make it more cylindrical and not as wonky, because it just gets off depending on how much you pull that stitch or don't pull that stitch. It made a big difference in it all the way around. But I do love it. Turned out super cute. I love him. I've got him on display in the house. The girls love him, and we are really enjoying him. So thank you, Blackbird Designs. Super cute design as always, stitched up really quick. And somebody asked about the fabric. This is another, it's a scrap off that piece. It's just a piece that I Rit dyed. I've used the Snowy Chalk Full. I did the Snowy Chalk Full Small, the Barbara Anna, and this guy, maybe something else. And then I just cut pieces off of it. So it's just Rit dyed and kind of squeezed out and then left to dry outside or in your laundry room, wherever. And that's all I do. So, but I have loved him. He's super, super, super cute. Barbara Anna, Christmas hair. He has already got sent off and should have got there yesterday. This was my finish on him. You can probably still see some glues on there. I did put this, like I said, here again, I put my loop always between my backing and the back piece of mat board, because in case I do want to display it just as a little standalone, I can flap that back and it doesn't show. Whereas if I put it here, you can see it, and I realized that too late. So a couple of my pieces are that way. I just feel like it makes them more versatile, more flexible. I might want to put them somewhere else, put them in a little, on a tiered tray or in a little vignette on a dresser or something. And so this, I just feel like it really gives me a lot more options if I do them this way. So he turned out super cute. I did change all the colors in his clothes and all that, and of course his background fabric, but I love him. He's so cute, and I just don't, I just wanted a more traditional Santa, so I changed him to red. But he is super adorable. Thank you, Barbara Anna, for that adorable little design. This is Prim Saint Nick, and I just finished, let me lean back this way. I just finished him like this, and he's old, previous finish. He's by, I think he's by Manny Dodonna, and he was in one of the, I think maybe the 2017 Christmas ornament issue, and he just looks like this on the back, but he had been needing finishing. He got stuck inside the 2017 magazine, undone. So when I pulled all this out to finish, I thought, I'm just gonna finish him. So he's just with like some little baker's twine or something, and I just did him like this. So he is super prim. I don't think I'll add anything else to him. I'm just gonna let him be. This is the other Little House Needlework here. This is Farm Folk. I finally, it needs a little jingle bell glued on. I just realized I didn't do it on there. And I think I did the others on point. I'll have to look. He may have to go on, they may have to go on the back of the tree because they may be a little bit off. This is so tiny. I think it's Frosty Friends by Blue Ribbon Designs. And he is freakishly small. Let me see, he is, when I measured him up, I think he's like 1 3/8 by 2.5. I mean, he is so small. I think he's on 28 count, but I did him super tiny. Let me see if I lean this way, if it'll pick him up. And he's just finished off on 2 pieces of mat board and then on a little sleigh like this. And of course you could hang him on the tree. You could put him on a tiered tray in a little vignette. So you could leave him out because he really isn't, there's nothing in here that says Christmas. So it's just like fall. And what's hilarious is you can see if you really look here. I miscounted here and there's 2 stitches. This will tell you a little bit about me. I can let it go. I can just let it go. Frozen ain't got nothing on me. I cannot think about it. This is the small from the Snowy Chock Full. I held it up a second ago. This is my other FFO this week. My Rit dyed scrap of Ada, and literally it's a scrap. Blue gingham, I just had this red, I call it baker's twine, but I don't know if that's what it is. And then I used a little piece of white felt and cut it because it made me think of snow. And so I just put it under there. I had a snowflake button. I toyed with putting it on there, but it was really big and kind of was so far out that it kind of pulled your eyes away from the snowman. I don't like a lot of stuff out in front of my stitch. That's just me. I don't know if it's from having to fruit stuff up at the flower shop too long, too many years working at the flower shop, but I tend to kind of scale back. So this made me think of snow. I've had the scraps of fabric around forever. It makes me think of snow. And then this blue and white, which is a very cool look to it. The red picks up the red up here. I just kind of tried to pull it all together. I'm pretty pleased with it. It's just like this on the back. I'm just gonna put it in a little easel like this. Like I said, I can't do very many little pin keeps because the girls think those are pillows for their babies. And it'll go on a hike. And then I'll be trying to run it down all the time because they love them some pillows for their babies. They are good little mamas, and they're always taking care of their babies and making sure they're all dolled and have what they need for their dolls. My last FFO is this. If y'all haven't seen this, it's Sassy Jack's. This is Aussie Friends, the Aussie Friends Sal. For every one of these that is stitched, it has the little koala, it has the squirrel, and it has their acorn. You know, they have an acorn in all their designs. I did change the wording color. I think I used 311. It says on my Instagram, but I think it's maybe 311. Oh, I'm probably saying the wrong color. But I changed it to blue. When I have this color of pink, I just think I need blue. Those colors for me work together great. I changed this tree up some. It was more of a block, and I just wanted to work my initials in right there, so I just changed it into where it just looked a little bit more sticky so I could work my initials in. In retrospect, my measuring was off. I should have brought these two sides in to about right here. I don't know what I was doing when I was measuring yesterday, but somehow I got off in my measuring here. So, but it is here again, just finished like this so I can prop it up so we can remember to pray and send good intentions to all our Aussie friends and neighbors. The thought of a world without koalas and kangaroos and all the beautiful reptiles that are there is just heartbreaking. But for every one of these stitched, Sassy Jacks is donating to the Australian Wildlife Relief Fund. You don't have to FFO it, stitch it, and post a picture and tag them. You do not have to finish it out. You just have to do the stitch. So I set aside my snowy chalk full to stitch this up. When everything is settled and back to where it needs to be, I will put this on the shelf with my Noah's Arks. I think it'll look great up there, and we'll always remember that in 2020 they had these horrible fires, and it'll just be a great reminder that sometimes things happen out of our control and we have to just try to band together and help each other as much as we can. I do intend to get online today. Frosted Pumpkin has one, and then Hands Across the Sea has one. I tend to get those today, that the benefits from those sales will go to the fire fund. And so I tend to get those today and work those into my stitching. But this one, I just wanted to stitch up real quick. I saw it, knew I could get it done. And then while I was stitching these, I saw and heard about the other two. I intend to get those today and try to get those finished so I can do what I can. And one sweet, sweet stitcher from Australia on my Instagram said thank you, and that nearly made me cry. And so that was nice that that they are noticing that we are trying to do a little bit. And please, all y'all know we're sending good intentions, good hopes, good prayers to y'all for some relief. I can't imagine. We fought a fire one time when James and I were first married out in East Texas, my grandparents out in the pasture, and it got scary. My granny and I were in the car. I was pregnant with CJ, in the truck, and my grandpa and James were just out there with shovels, just trying to shovel and stop it. And all the men from around there, I mean, there was a rural fire department that was on the other side, and James and my grandpa were on our side trying to stop it from coming into their pasture any further. And it was scary. It was just super, super scary. And God, I can't imagine it being all around you and everywhere, and you just being completely unable to do anything about it at all. That's horrifying. That just, it makes me wordless. But our giveaway today, and it's going to be Frosty's Night Out. And I'm going to tell you a story about a night out that got me, well, actually we didn't get in trouble, because, you know, when you're young and bold, you just care not. You can get away with a lot. So here's the Frosty's Night Out. It's going to be the giveaway. Here's mine finished here. And I'm going to need y'all to tell me about, we will use ice cream, because that's going to be the story about my night out. When I was young, I had a same boyfriend for years. And of course, when you're young, what do you do every time you leave the house? You go parking, right? And so we did. And so we were going to get ice cream. We were going to go get ice cream. And there was an ice cream place in town, had hamburgers and ice cream and all this. And we were gonna supposed to go eat ice cream, right? And get ice cream and then bring ice cream back for everybody else from the store. Because, they lived outside of town. It was 15 minutes from the store at least, and maybe even longer. And so, but we were supposed to then, after we got through eating, go to the grocery and get ice cream, chocolate chip ice cream, to bring back for everybody else at the house, because we were at my grandparents', and so there was always like a million people there. And so, of course, we don't go get ice cream. We go parking. We go to the store to get this ice cream. The store is closed. The grocery is closed. And now, this ain't a big place. There was not another store. That was it. No other store. No other place to get ice cream, except the place we were supposed to go eat ice cream. So the inside part of it was closed, but the drive-thru was open. So we go and we're like, okay, because why wouldn't they, if they will sell you a scoop of ice cream, a cone of ice cream, a cup of ice cream, they'll sell you a gallon of ice cream, right? Come on. It's Bluebell. They sell Bluebell ice cream. We would have bought Bluebell ice cream at the grocery store. So we'll just get them to sell us a gallon. Everything's fine. We go and get in the drive-thru. Lord have mercy. The man says, we don't sell ice cream by the gallon. What do you mean? What do you mean you don't sell ice cream by the gallon? You have to sell ice cream by the gallon. You sell it by the cone, by the cup, by the, sundaes, malts. He said, we don't sell it like that. We don't have gallon containers. And so my boyfriend, and I ain't gonna call his name because I don't want him to catch any flack back over this over all these years. Probably a million people know this, but bless his heart, he was good as gold. He said, well, how big are those things you dip out of? You know how like when you go up to the ice cream counter and like they dip your ice cream out of? I think it was 5 gallons if I remember right. It was huge. And he goes, well, give me one of those. And the man at the window was like, are you serious? And he's like, yes, sir. So he's looking at us like we've lost our minds. He's just looking back. My boyfriend's looking back at him like, waiting. That man goes and comes back with this ginormous thing of ice cream. It's the hugest thing ever. And he's like literally cramming it out the window, and he's cramming it into the truck. And he looks at us and he goes, would you like 1 or 2 spoons of that? We're like, we're good, thanks. Drove home with 5 gallons of ice cream sitting in the truck seat next to me over here. Walked right in that house, bold as all get out. Here's the ice cream. Literally, no, straight-faced, completely shameless, ginormous thing of ice cream. It was a better buy. Thank God my grandparents had this like ginormous deep freeze thing. It's huge. You know those kind of you lift the lid like you put like 10 dead bodies in? That's the kind of deep freeze they had. Thank God, because this giant thing of ice cream had to go in there. We just walked right in that house, just bold as brass. Nobody said a word. I guess they knew, I'm sure they'd all been young once. I don't know. But so when Frostys night out made me think of that night out and being frosty ice cream. So y'all tell me about your favorite kind of ice cream. And mine is Cookie Monster right now. I am in love with Cookie Monster ice cream, but it gives me hot flashes like all ice cream. Sad day. So I don't get to eat it very often because it makes me then have hot flashes, which makes me insane. But y'all tell me what your favorite kind of ice cream is, and that will be the tag for see who Frosty's night out is going to go home with. And I hope you enjoy him as much as my boyfriend and I enjoyed our night out, and my family enjoyed that big giant 5 gallons of ice cream all those years ago. So let me know. Y'all keep stitching. Holler if you have any questions. I love hearing from y'all. I love all your comments and your posts, and I love looking at your pictures and your stitching and finding things I haven't seen before. So y'all keep it up and have a great week. Thanks. Bye.